Crafters, welcome in, welcome in. I want to start this stream with happy holiday wishes, whether you celebrate Christmas or that's not quite your cup of tea. Happy holidays nonetheless. I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and for all those who are celebrating, certainly happy holidays to you guys. Either way, I hope you guys are safe and secure and happy, and that everyone is healthy and doing well. I've had two family members in the past week come down with the cough and whooping fits, so I wish everybody well and safe in their different walks of life. I had an excellent day with family yesterday, and I got a game for the channel. Management went out of their way, a sponsor for this channel, management, picked up a copy of The Quarry for, get this, it was like $25. So we will be playing that tonight. We'll be playing 1 hour of The Quarry tonight, so you guys have that to look forward to. Big announcements. We're at 39 on YouTube. If we can get 11 more people to subscribe to YouTube, January 1st, face reveal with my dog Anubis, who is a pit bull, rat terrier, boxer mix. Very handsome dude. Also, this is day one of the giveaways, so if you are interested in getting a $10 PlayStation gift card from me, from management, all you gotta do is stop by one of the streams today and say hey, say hi, so we can get your username, so we can enter it in to win. So, I will remind you about every 30 minutes about the giveaway, so that if people come in, they'll have an opportunity to know that we're playing. It won't be drawn until the morning of the 28th, but it is what it is. So, I want to thank everybody for playing in advance, and we have a couple of small things to take care of. The first one is I'm accidentally sitting on my dog's paw. He went to curl up next to me, and he ended up shoving his paw under my leg, so I'm going to have to situate him a little bit better. I'm a hefty cat, so I can't be sitting on my baby doggy. It wouldn't be very comfortable for either of us. First of all, for Genshin Impact, I have been playing a little bit off camera, and I've gotten Battle Pass to level 35. We've got 4 levels, 36, 37, 38, and 39, between us from getting 2 wishes, 1 for each banner. So our goal is to try to do things that would make Battle Pass happy. Some things that Battle Pass has asked for. I've already done my dailies, but obviously Battle Pass wants me to use a bunch of resin, fight 6 more bosses, spend money, complete domains and ley lines and requests and bounties and all that, and we will be handling at least the request portion of it today. So I know some of the things that we can work towards Battle Pass, but before we get into all that, I saw a really fun mini game that another streamer played, and so I thought we would play it. We've been playing a lot of mini games for Genshin, and I hope you guys are finding them interesting. It's just a way to play around with your characters and stuff. So what they did was they went into their character archive, because that's where you can see, like, well, everybody. I'm going to use my character screen. Maybe we will use the archive, just so it's easy for everybody to see on screen. And so there were 5 questions that the streamer asked. The questions were your strongest character, your highest level character, and there were a couple other questions. I've got them written down. I've got to get my notes. But they were questions like that. And so we're just going to be going over, we're going to be answering 5 questions, and then there is a part 2 to it, and like the 5th question leads into part 2. So let's go ahead and play this mini game together real quick. Management has had to step out of the room, so she's not going to be able to play with us. Oh, she's back. Management might actually be able to play our mini game with us today. Oh, she said she'll be right back, Crafters. So we're just going to do a couple more announcements. She's asked me to wait on the minigames. So, I actually have another micro game we can play that I was going to play at the end, but we could just play it now to get some time. So, the micro game that we can play, it's a battle royale simulator. So you just start in the character archive at the top left, And obviously the newest character, the Wanderer, he should be in everybody's top left corner. And what you're going to do for the mini game is it's the Wanderer versus Farazan, because I believe that's the order everybody's is in, because this is from oldest to newest, and the newest characters are like Farazan and the Wanderer. So you'll go to your top left corner and you're going to say this character versus the next character. So in this case, it would be Wanderer versus Farazan. Who do I think would win in a 1v1? And you go through all of the characters doing a 1v1. So Wanderer versus Farazan. Animo versus Animo. I think Wanderer, being a 5-star, would take the dub for me. So Wanderer fighting Farazan, Wanderer will win. So then you would, like, however you want to do it, whether you exit out or whether you just say Farazan's out and you go Wanderer versus Layla. I think Wanderer would win that fight as well. Just because eventually he'd break her shield, and then he would be able to do the damage. That he would eventually wear Layla's shield down, and there would be a point where she wouldn't be able to spam her shield, and at that point the Wanderer would become supreme. So then it's the Wanderer versus Nahida, his first 5-star fight. And I think while Nahida would do her best, and she might hurt him pretty significantly with her ult. I don't think she would get her regular attack off on him because he can fly. So I think he would be pretty safe from her attacks except her ult. So while I think she might damage the Wanderer with her ult and leave him susceptible to the next fight, I don't think Nahida would be able to take the Wanderer down. Therefore, I'm going to give the Wanderer the win. We're playing a mini game real fast, management. It's not the one I wanted you to play with me, but it's okay. So it's like you're taking each character and you're doing a 1v1. So far, the Wanderers beat Farazan, Layla, and Nahida.
The Wanderer beat Nahida?
Well, here's my logic. Please hold, crafters. I've got to run management back. So my thought was Wanderer versus Farazan. He's a 5-star and she's a 4-star, and her bow takes so long to do charge shots. Yeah, we're going down the list. So Farazan versus Farazan lost to the Wanderer just because he is a 5-star, and I felt like his overall damage package would eventually win. Not to mention she's going to have to be doing charge shots, and she's only her regular arrows are going to damage him. And if he just avoids her arrows, then Farazan's left unable to fight him. So then Wanderer versus Layla, I said Layla would last a while in the fight due to her shield, but once Wanderer broke her shield, her cooldown would be so long that the Wanderer would win just by the fact that his cooldowns are very rapid. So he's going to win just because he's going to literally just DPS her to death. Then I said he would go up against his first 5-star Nahida, and while I think her ult going off would damage him, I don't think it would kill him. And I think that the fact that he flies in the air 90% of the time would dodge 90% of her attack power. So I said her ult would leave him in a weakened state, but that at the end, Wanderer would come out victorious, in my opinion. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. We're playing a minigame. So then I said Wanderer versus Nilou. We haven't done this one yet. So my personal opinion from the limited gameplay I've seen of Nilou is that Wanderer coming off of a damaged fight with Nahida, he would still bankroll Nilou. Because she is a very on the ground fighter. And again, he's just in the air wandering away, in my opinion. So I think she wouldn't even have a chance to hit him. He would just cheese the fight. But keep in mind, he's already been damaged by Nahida's ult. So I think he would be next one that hits him is gonna win. So then Wanderer versus Cyno. I'm gonna give the win to Cyno because of his ult. I think his puppy would be tall enough to hit the Wanderer with his attacks, and with the Wanderer being weakened by Nahida, I think we would have a new champion of Cyno. And I would say Cyno's a tiny bit damaged from their fight, but I think Cyno is he's doing valid fights. So then Cyno would be our new champion, and we would do Cyno versus Candace. Most people would say Sino would like 1v1 this into oblivion, but since he just used his ult to beat the Wanderer, he's going to be on cooldown, and for that reason, I think Candace would flatten Sino. Even though he's a 5-star and she's a 4-star, it would be because Sino just took out the Wanderer, so he's not really in the position to win the fight against someone strong like Candace. If he went against Dory or like literally anyone else, I don't think he'd be Tonka trucked immediately. I don't know. Management's doing weird things in her screen.
I like tried to teleport to the statue and it like didn't spawn in the statue and I fell and Luke died.
Oh, okay. Management's having glitches. Alright, so our new champion Sino fights Candace, and Candace wins, making Candace their new champion. So then Candace comes off the Sino fight. In my opinion, she would have taken no damage from.
Maybe a little, but like.
Management says she would have had some scratches, but she'd come out victorious.
It's just a scratch.
Yeah, it's just a scratch. So now we have moved on to Candace as our new champion, and she's going to step in the ring versus Dory. And sorry guys, had to verify some info with management. We're not expecting anything today, but I thought I heard a package. That's what I think for hearing things. I'm crazy, right, management? That's what happened. Management's like we all are. It's just we have a very quiet neighborhood, so like any amount of noise kind of sounds like something, if that makes sense. So Candace basically just beats Dory like she's a doormat, and I would say she takes minimal damage during that fight. Our champion Candace just like basically steamrolling Dory and her little ball friend. And then Master Tainari jumps into the arena. And as much as I want to say Candace would put on an amazing show, Tainari would absolutely ult her into the ground. I think he would just steamroll her. Even though I think Candace would put up an impressive fight, I think she would damage. I would say she'd take a quarter of Tainari's health, but she would end up losing. So he's a quarter down and our new champion.
I just got the halberd.
Wow. Management just got the halberd, guys. Super awesome polearm if you guys don't have one.
I get Rosaria, that's for her.
Whenever we pull the Rosaria, I'm saving the Favonius Lance for her, and management has the halberd. So now we got Tiggy, right? He's our new champion. And he into the fight. I feel like the next fight that steps in is Kali, and I feel like Tainari would decline to fight Kali. I don't think we're going to count that as a loss. I just feel like Tainari would not fight Kali. He has a very strong relationship with Kali, and so I don't think he would draw his bow against Kali. Just my personal opinion. Management, would you count that as a loss if Tainari refuses to fight? I would say because he refuses to fight her that it's a draw and he stays champion. So he. Well, I don't think she would win. It's just like, do we have to choose a new champion? I'd say he stays champion at 3/4 health, and Kali just doesn't get to participate in the tournament because Tainari he can't. He sees her as like a little sister or as his daughter, and he won't hurt her. Management said, honestly, I think Kali would surrender. And so Kali would just take the L, and Tainari would move on to fighting Hazo. This is a tough one for me. Tainari is a very impressive, very strong 5-star Dendro. But Hazo, when you start spamming Hazo's attacks, he attacks extremely fast. Tainari relies on range to kind of protect himself from damage. You're not supposed to like get in the creature's face and like go to town. Meanwhile, Hazo's gonna rush him. Like mid in there, Hazo's gonna rush him because his combat is like on top of his face. This is probably gonna be a controversial opinion, but I think Hazo would become our new champion. Only because Tainari's already taken a little bit of damage from Candace. and he's not going to be able to do a ton of damage when the person is literally just repeatedly punching and kicking him in the face. So Heizo's up next. Hazo, however you say his name.
Hazel versus Kuki. Oh
Now
man.
this next fight isn't even a fight. Because I'm gonna say Heizo's half health after his victory. Like he won, but at a cost. Because I didn't say Tonari would do no damage. I think Tonari would have like definitely taken health.
Sorry, Hazel.
And I think Heizo would step into the arena with Kuki, and I'm saying to me it'd be a 5-second fight. Kuki would blitz him, and that would be it. He's coming off.
Damage.
Yeah, he's coming off a fight with Tainari. Tainari's already taken at least half his health, if not more. And Kuki would have a very easy go of just ninjaing Heizo into the ground. She's a superior combatant. So now we have our new champion, Kuki. Yes, show the people your face, winner. Yes, winner chicken dinner. And she is fighting Yelan.
She's
And Kuki, I feel like she would have just blitzed Heizo and not taken damage. But I'm going to say it. I think it would be like a two punch, two wins.
yeah, because she has to get in your face.
Yeah, and
Mulan is across the field.
Yelan is very good at range damage. And I think she would just hydro bow Kuki into the ground. Especially when Kuki tries to heal and she ends up taking her own health to heal. So she would try to heal and end up losing the fight. New champion, Yelan. Alright, guys, we're getting somewhere. It's heating up. Yelan has taken the field. She's our champion. She took no damage. She's ready to go. And then onto the field strolls Mr. Ayato. Alright. And even though it's Hydro v. Hydro, I think the truth of the matter, management, I think this could be controversial as well.
Ayato.
Um,
I think.
I think Ayato would blitz Yelan.
I think.
And while I'll give her a little bit of damage on him, I think at the end of the day, his movement speed when he does his attack is so fast, she's not going to be able to get that many arrows off
She's fast.
before.
Ayato.
They said Ioto, if I remember right, has one of the highest movement speeds in the game.
Well, I know she does too, though, because she can like blitz too.
And I just,
I feel like they're both gonna be hurt a lot though.
I feel like Ioto would end up coming on top just because,
Like barely.
yeah, he's going to end up very damaged, but I would call Ayato a winner. I'm going to say he's got like less than a quarter health though.
Yeah, so whoever he's up against next,
Um,
like.
yeah, he's dead. There's no way it's Miko.
Oh, yep.
So,
Instant
so
stop.
Ayato, Miko doesn't even come in the arena, and Ayato's
All
already
she tried to
done.
do is, like, her one turret.
She didn't even turret. She just hit him with electricity, and because he just came off of a hydro fight and is wet,
Yep.
she literally she just smoked him. We'll say he tried to throw his sword at her, but he missed because she's Miko. All right, so Mommy Miko's our new champion. This is a hard fight coming up though, because she's against Shinha. Tough opinion here,
I don't even know.
but
I honestly don't know.
I'm gonna say Miko wins
But, like, barely.
because of her turrets. I'm gonna say Shinha 1 HP's Miko, but Miko's turrets are the end of Shinha.
I don't know, because she can, like, freeze Miko, though.
Well, you can't freeze the turrets.
No, so I think.
So,
so
I-
think her turrets is what killed her. Like,
I'm gonna say Miko is left to like 3 HP.
yeah.
So Miko's incredibly
Yeah, she only
damaged.
survived because of her turrets.
Yeah.
She had froze her.
She put down her turrets, but it cost her a ton of her HP. But Mommy Miko is still champion, even versus Shinha. Yunjin walking in the field next.
That's not even.
And management said Yunjin would just get leveled. Even at 3 HP, I think Miko would just stomp Yunjin into the floor. But then when Ito comes in right after Yunjin,
Yeah.
Ito would he would just roll the 3 HP Miko,
He would literally just throw his bowl at her and it would be gone.
and that would be it. So now Ito's our new champion, full health Ito, and he's going up against Goro. Goro and Ito have a very respectful relationship, according to the banner.
Yeah.
So I think this is a Tagnari situation.
I feel like he wouldn't do it.
where Goro, I think Goro would have enough respect for Ito that Goro would take the L and let Ito continue the fight. So Ito and Goro, I think Goro would win just because, or Ito would win just because Goro would respectfully bow out.
Yeah. He's like, I can't fight you.
He has a lot of respect for Ito, and I just feel like it's a Kali Tainari situation where he just would not take that fight. All right, so then it's Ito versus Toma. And while I think Toma would shield himself at the beginning of the fight, and he would waste a bunch of Ito's time, I feel like Ito would take,
But I think Ito will get hurt a little bit, at least.
I would say, less than a quarter health off, though.
Or at least, well, I meant damage.
He's gonna get burned.
Yeah.
So he's going to take fire damage. But I think at the end of the day, Ito pummels Toma, and all that he really got was a little bit of damage and a bunch of wasted time. So then Miss Kokomi rolls on the field. So now it's Ito versus Kokomi. And you guys are going to hate this opinion. I don't think management's going to agree with me, but I think Kokomi's going to win.
Well, yeah.
And here's why. Ito is going to...
Still get distracted.
He's going to massively damage Kokomi. But then, Kokomi is going to jellyfish goat her way out of damage. And I think at the end of the day, their dance will end with Ito's long cooldowns biting him in the bud, and Kokomi ending up doing the damage and jellyfishing repeatedly to the point where she's able to stay alive during the fight just because of her jellyfish pet.
It's hard to, like, have someone beat Kokomi because she can literally heal the whole
Yeah,
thing.
she's done right after, though. She's up against Raiden.
Oh, never mind.
Man was like, Kokomi's the GOAT, and I'm like, she is the GOAT.
Well, it depends who she's up against.
So Kokomi, full health Kokomi after healing from Ito. And then Raiden enters the arena. Kokomi has already wet herself, kind of, because Barbara, she does the same thing where she applies Hydro. And it's like one shot from Raiden. Raiden pulls out the Sword of Doom, and Kokomi can't heal fast enough to get Raiden off of her. Because Raiden just pull arms into the sword, into the knight, into the Raiden, and then it's like, it's said and done before Kokomi can even call her little jellyfish pet.
I heard it is like a cooldown for it.
Yeah, so she was literally like spamming her jellyfish at every opportunity versus Ito, so she's cooling down. Raiden walks in, sees that she's hydroed, and just railroads her. Just slaps her into next week. The next fight is Raiden versus Sara, Kujo Sara.
I think Sarah would bow down. That's her ball.
Yeah, this is another respect point. I think Raiden would be down for the fight because Raiden's always down to fight. She has this. She's like,
Not like gay.
well, it just says Raiden, so. Well, no, because like if you guys know about culture, like there's a samurai.
No, she does.
If you ask her to fight, well, it depends who her opponent is. I just don't think Kujusara would ask for the duel. She'd be like, sorry, I'm not fighting her. And I think Raiden would understand that Kujusara didn't want the fight.
Yeah, so she would literally bow out.
Yeah, and she would respect. I think she would respect her people, like saying, "I'm not fighting you," because Kujusara is kind of like her like general. So I don't think
One of her generals.
Kujusara would like try to clap the Raiden. So that leads to champion Raiden versus Yoi Mia. Guys, I know there's gonna be some Yoi Mia fans out there that absolutely hate this fight. Because while I think Raiden is going to end up damaged,
She will be damaged.
she is going to pull a dub against Yoi Mia. Simply because of movement speed, fight style. It's the same reason that Heizo beat Tainari. You know, Yoi Mia needs range to get those hits. And Raiden is not going to give her that range. Raiden's not dumb. She's going to bring the fight. She's going to bring the fight to Yoi Mia. And I'm going to say Raiden is a quarter health at the end of the fight. I'm going to say Yoi Mia claps her. She claps those cheeks and she claps hard. But at the end of the day, Raiden is just like that much more above Yoi Mia that she comes out of the fight very hurt, but victorious. So approaching Raiden, champion Raiden, who's now done like 2 rounds of clapping, is Sayu.
That's
Little baby Sayu wouldn't stand a chance against even a very injured Raiden.
I don't think so.
And I think Raiden would just flatten Sayu. Sayu can roll all she wants. But I think at the end of the day, I'll say Raiden takes some damage, but not enough to to give Sayu the win. So then Ayaka takes the field. Ayaka. Ayaka takes the field, and with a very. If Raiden was not substantially hurt, I think the fight would be a little bit more fair. But with Raiden already getting significantly damaged by Yoimiya, Ayaka would just finish the fight. I think one Kamisato art would just would put her in her place, and Ayaka would step up as our new cryo champion. But I don't think it's gonna last long, and here's why: because right after she has to fight Kazuha. So the reason I'm saying Kazuha would come in and dominate Ayaka is because he's gonna use her own cryo against her in a swirl.
I definitely think that Kazuha would beat her, though.
I'm gonna say half health. I'm going to say he fights her and he wins, but at a price, and that price is half his health.
He didn't take any damage.
No, she fought, and she fought valiantly, and we'll say she maybe even popped an art against him, and he took damage. But
he didn't take all the damage because he did move out of the way. But he definitely took some damage.
But Kazuha, we're going to say Kazuha's half health, but he is the champion. Then, coming up against him is the knight Eula. So Kazuha v. Eula. If Kazuha is full health, I would say this fight would be more in Kazuha's favor, just because he would be coming in on equal ground.
I don't know, but
But Eula hits like a dump truck.
off, you're done.
Yeah, so I think Eula would use this opportunity to triangle him, and Kazuha being half health, that would be, despite his best attempts to not die, I think Eula would just come in with that clap clap and get rid of the Kazuha. We'll say Eula takes a quarter damage during the fight, just to be fair, as Kazuha is a formidable opponent, and I feel like he'd butter them buns, alright? We'll give her a quarter off her health. So Eula's our new champion. Eula versus Yang Fei. Yang Fei.
She would hurt.
My opinion is she's gonna go from 3/4 health to 1/4 health, but she's still at the end of the day going to win this fight. And this is only because she's gonna get hit with the ult, repeated bursts, and the distance that Yan Fei can throw her fireballs. It's gonna be hard for Eula to repeatedly close the distance. But I think once she closes the distance, the pyro damage isn't gonna be enough to completely wipe the ground with Eula. But when Yan Fei steps out of the ring and Rosaria enters the ring, I think Eula would be done for. Only because Kazuha and Yang Fei have reduced her to almost less than a quarter health at this point, and she's just not in it to win it. So the physical side of Rosaria, not her cryo, but her just straight physical blitz attack. Yeah, her pow 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 attack she does it would win her the fight. So now Rosaria is our new champion, and Hu Tao is the challenger.
Well, sorry, Rosaria.
I love you, Rosaria, but Hu Tao would absolutely smoke you, because the more damage you do to her, you get your ult off, let's say, and you're thinking you've got an easy victory, but Hu Tao becomes more powerful the more damage you do. So, while I think Rosaria would do massive damage to Hu Tao with her ult, her burst, and her physical damage overall, I think Hu Tao would use that, and use the fact that at lower health she claps to just wipe Rosaria out. So now it's Hu Tao, who I thought was going to last a second, but her opponent is Zhao.
Oh, no.
And Hu Tao's already low health from the last fight, and while I think she would do her best to attack him, I think Zhao is just a flighty dude, and I'm going to give Zhao an almost instant victory. He has a very high movement speed. his pogo sticking is annoying. And I think Hu Tao would have a hard time hitting Zhao because he's pogo sticking. He's over here. He's over there. He's in another dimension. Now he's over here.
She won't even see him.
She won't see him coming, and he'll just blitz attack her. So now it's Zhao versus Ganyu. I gotta get some water crafters.
That's funny because Xiao's. I think Ganyu would honestly take like Xiao out because he's like her teacher.
Yeah, Ganyu is. Ganyu
Ganyu
learned a lot from Zhao, and I think Ganyu. Well, I think she would draw an arrow. I don't think she'd end up firing because she'd be like, Zhao, I can't do this. And so then it would be Zhao Albedo. Zhao Albedo. Ooh. Um, I'm thinking. I'm trying to play their attacks out in my head. And I'm going to say Albedo claps Zhao one time and then Zhao gets mad about it and just takes Albedo out. So I'm going to say Zhao gets damaged. Yeah, no, he's not going to win, but Albedo's going to hurt him, but he's not going to kill him. And then it's going to be Zhao versus Zhongli. And because Zhao respects Zhongli, Zhao will bow out. And now we'll have a full health Zhongli versus Jin Yan, the guitar girl. And I think Zhongli would just one meteor her into the floor. I'm sorry, guys. I've seen her. She does like a really big burst of fire, but Zhongli has a massive shield, massive damage, and I think he would just coming in. I think he would just steamroll her into the floor. So then it would be Child versus Zhongli, and I'm gonna say, well, Zhongli will certainly take damage from Child.
Do you think actually Child would fight him?
Yes, because they have a weird relationship, and it's not quite a one based in respect. It's more a moral relationship. And so I think Child, his Harbinger side would come out, and he gets kind of like aggressive when you say that he's weak. And almost certainly Zhongli would call him weak, because he knows how to irritate people. And so I think Child's Harbinger, like, training, if you don't want to call it anything else, would lead to him fighting Zhongli and losing. And while I think he would put on an S+ performance, I think Zhongli comes out not very damaged from that fight. So then it's Zhongli versus Diona. And I think Zhongli would smash Diona into the floor. Yeah, her shield is nothing compared to his. So then it's Zhongli versus Klee. And while I will give it to Klee, that Klee is going to bomb him.
She might damage him a bit.
I would say she breaks his shield and does a little bit of damage before he wipes the floor with her. So he's being chipped away at, but Zhongli is one of the strongest opponents in the game. Then it's Zhongli versus Venti, so Archon v Archon. And, well, I think Venti would put on a very talentful performance. I think at the end of the day, Zhongli is still at 3/4 worth of his health. Because while Venti did his best, Zhongli's shields are going to just carry him through that fight. And he's going to end up crushing Venti, because Venti to me is like the weakest of the 4 Archons. And
I think he's better than Nahida, though.
Well, Nahida got like stepped on already. So yeah, I'd say that Venti and Nahida are about even to me at power level. Just like if Zhongli was fighting Raiden, I think Zhongli would have a very hard time getting rid of Raiden's attacks. And she'd definitely break his shield, if nothing else. So then it's Zhongli versus Ketching. And while I think Ketching would be very, very damaging to Zhongli, I unfortunately think Ketching would refuse to fight an Archon.
Like her own Archon.
She wouldn't go against her own Archon. Because everyone, like, out of the 4 cities, I think that Raiden's city and Zhongli's city are the 2 most respectful to their Archons. Like, Mondstadt doesn't really respect Venti, because he left. And while Nahida is respected in the wisdom sense, I don't know how quickly they would come to save her. But I think Zhongli's people would just be like, we're not fighting you. We're not going to fight our Archon. So that would leave Zhongli versus Mona. And,
Oh my gosh.
well, I think the fact that Mona can move underground would be a benefit for once. And I think her Hydra application would do some damage. I'm saying Zhongli stomps Mona to the curb. So now, Zhongli has taken out a whole bunch of people, and Kiki says she's had enough. And now it's Zhongli versus Chi-Chi.
I think it's because he's already damaged.
I think he's like right above half health.
Still?
Well, he's pretty much shields all the time. So he's been shielding through most of the damage. The problem he's going to run into with Chi-Chi is every time he damages Chi-Chi, she sits there and heals herself. So I think
he'll give up. After like a long fight, I'll be like, okay.
I think he would get tired and he would end up being like, I'd like to go home.
I really don't see like Strongly actually fighting to you know.
I think Zhongli would call a draw eventually because he's just shielding and she's healing.
Yeah.
And he'd get tired of it and he would concede to her and be like, I just don't want to be here anymore. Can I go home? And I think he would end up going home. Leaving Chi-Chi, our new winner.
And then Duluth.
So then Chi-Chi has to fight Diluc. And while I think Chi-Chi has very impressive heals, if Diluc gets off his ult, Chi-Chi's a crispy little penguin. And I think Chi-Chi would lose to Diluc for sure, making Diluc our new 5-star champion. But for like 0.2 seconds. Because the next person is Jean. And while y'all can say you don't think there's something sus with Jean and Diluc, I think that they have enough relationship that Diluc would refuse to fight the Grandmaster of Mondstadt, and he would step aside, leaving Jean to be our new champion. So then it would be Jean versus Sucrose, and Sucrose is extremely loyal to Mondstadt, so she'd be like, hi Jean, bye Jean. And that would leave Jean fighting Chung Yun. Isn't Chung Yun from Mondstadt too? So Chung Yun is not from Mondstadt.
Pretty sure he's from Liyue.
Um,
Is he?
I don't know where Chung Yun's from.
I thought it was Liyue.
But even if he did fight Jean, he would be crushed. Jean would heal. It would be the same thing with Chi-Chi. She's just sitting there healing herself. So any damage Chung Yun did manage to do to her, even with his ult, I think she would be able to heal through, leaving it Jean versus Noelle, and Noelle is from Mondstadt, so Noelle would also back down because Noelle doesn't want to fight Jean. Because you're not going to fight, as a knight, you're not going to fight the Grand Master. So she would respectfully decline, even though if Noelle were to fight Jean, I think Jean would have a run for her money.
She definitely.
But Noelle would just be like, I'm not fighting you. I'm sorry, Grandmaster, I'm not going to do that.
Really just be a draw anyway, honestly, I think.
It would be the same reason that Zhongli couldn't beat Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
One's healing, one's shielding, repeatedly. Yeah. So then Jean...
And she shields and heals.
So then this leaves Jean versus Bennett. And Bennett isn't Bennett from Mondstadt?
That's what I think so.
I don't think Bennett would fight Jean. I think Bennett would refuse to fight Jean. And then Fischl would refuse to fight Jean. So Bennett and Fischl would just see that Jean was the champion, and they would both... I don't even think Fischl would show up. She'd send Oz to tell her, like, I ain't doing this. Then Ningguang takes the field. And while I think that Jean would heal substantially during the fight, guys, I know you guys, Jean lovers out there, you're going to hate me. I think Ningguang would finally put an end to Jean's run as champion.
I have no idea why Ningguang's not a 5-star.
Because Ningguang is an extremely powerful character. I think her rocket attack would end up winning, especially since she can throw up the screen, and anything like Animo she's trying to do to her would just get like blocked out. So I think Ningguang shields herself to victory. Then it's Ningguang versus Jing Chao. And while I think Jing Chao is a very honorable swordsman, I think Ningguang would win that fight.
But Ningguang would definitely be hurt. At least something.
Ningguang would be damaged, for sure. But she would win. Then Ningguang versus Beto. Beto would refuse to fight Ningguang because she respects Ningguang. And this is going to be a weird one because I think that when Beto saw Ningguang was hurt, I think Ningguang would bow out to Beto because she would expect Beto to carry for her.
Probably.
They've got a weird flippin' relationship. So I just feel like Ningguang at half health from her last fight would hand it off to Beto full health to like fight for me, be my champion. So then we would end up with Champion Beto. Champion Beto doesn't have a lot of claps that she can pull. Unfortunately, Champion Beto is going up against Jingling.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So while I think Beto would take over for Ningguang, I think it would last one fight.
Oh, come on.
No, because once Jingling gets off her ult with Goomba, with physical damage, I think she would overwhelm Beto. I would say Jingling survives, but with very little health.
They like contradict each other.
Yeah, so they're doing mass damage to each other, and I would say only because of Goomba does Jingling win. So now it's Jingling versus Razor.
Jingling still. Oh,
But Jingling's at no health, so his first wolf attack levels Jingling, making Razor new champion. So now it's Razor versus Jean's little sister, Barbara.
I don't think he would.
And I feel like the problem here is Razor's too good a boy. And for some reason, I think he respects like all the women because he mentions Bernie Girl and then Red Girl, but I never hear Razor talk about a dude. So I'm just saying because Barbara is like this innocent Barbara, I think Razor would decline the fight. Like Jingling is clearly a fighter. Barbara is clearly the deaconess of a church and not a fighter. And I think Razor would give her the championship just because like he doesn't want to hit Barbara. And sadly, we're getting to a point where I don't like it. Because then it's Barbara versus Lisa. And Lisa is not going to hit Jean's sister. So Lisa's going to like step out because she doesn't want to hit Jean's sister. And then it's Barbara versus Kaya, and while Kaya is cocky and arrogant, he's not going to hit Jean's sister. So then it's Barbara versus Amber, and Amber's not going to hit Jean's sister. So our champion, folks, after 40 minutes of discussing this, is flipping Barbara only because the last few fighters would not fight Barbara. Lisa, Kaya, and Amber would all be like, we're not hitting Jean's sister.
Actually, I feel like Barbara would like bow out because I don't think she's really a fighter. She's just a healer.
So you think...
I actually think she would bow out to the first person.
So management thinks Razor would give it to Barbara. Barbara would see Lisa and say, I'm not going to fight you. Lisa would be like, I don't want to hit you. And she's like, there's no need. I'm leaving. So then it would be Lisa champion. And I think Kaya would hit Lisa.
Yeah, but I think Lisa would.
Kaya would definitely be like, I'm the captain. I have to show that this librarian's not going to win. And I think Lisa would wipe the floor with Kaya. Absolutely just wipe the floor with Kaya. And then it would be Amber versus Lisa, and Amber would be like, I'm not hitting Lisa. She would watch Kaya suffer in pain and be just like electrocuted, tortured, and she'd be like, I don't want it. I wasn't going to fight you anyway. We're both one stat. I don't want it. I'm an outrider. Therefore, management says instead of Barbara, Lisa would be our final champion just because there's no way Kaya's going to win versus Lisa. He's just she gets her ult off and Kaya's just done for. So that is my rendition of all of the Genshin characters fighting each other. I know it took like 40 minutes, but the mini game got out of hand. So we're not actually going to play the other game I wanted to play with management because that took forever. Management, you want to play? I thought you were climbing. Uh-oh.
No,
Management's free falling.
Trying to get that dang thing down there.
Management's trying to get something, but
I have to get Geoculus up the food chain. That's like not
okay. So I saw this YouTuber, and what she did, it was five questions, and it was out of all playable characters, whether you own them or not, who do you think is the strongest character? Like overall, if you had one character that you had to 1v1 everyone with, and you could like eat and go to the statues in between, and you can like get this
Well,
character
as
full
of
health
right
every time.
now, well, because of my baby account, Jean.
Management's like she thinks Jean for the
She,
win.
she's beast mode. Like, she
If I
heals herself, she can heal everyone else. She'll take damage off the Kuchang, but she can deal damage. Like,
Yeah, I agree with management. I think Jean, if you were allowing her time to use her heals and eat and go to statues of the seven,
but she can literally heal herself, and if you give her the black sword, she'll like double heal herself.
yeah,
And the thing.
Jean's just gonna wipe the floor with everybody. So that's the strongest. Then it was the next question was in your party, who's your highest level? And for me, it's Fischl. She just hit 70. Management is Noelle. It was one character that's your lowest character, and I can say Dory is I think a 20. She's one of my lowest level characters is Miss Dory. Management agrees her Dory I think is also a 20, just because we got the wish and then moved on. One character that you think would lose to everyone in a fight, and that Amber, for me it would be Amber. Management says Barbara. I just don't. Again,
Amber might win like a couple fights, but like
I just think Amber's so weak that her explosion dude might clutch a couple of cheap wins, but at the end of the day, I think Amber's just not doesn't have what it takes.
not the goats.
And then the last question is who is the most loyal
Noelle.
in all of the characters? I feel like I think the most loyal I'm gonna pick would be Kali. If you guys haven't read her story, I'm gonna not spoil that for you. But I think through her story and her lore, I'd have to say Kali has some of the strongest loyalty to Amber and to Tainari that I've seen so far in the game. And her story is the reason that she's like ultra loyal, and I think that loyalty goes both ways, but that she's just grateful to be here. Even though I think Noelle is a strong pick as well, I think Kali's story kind of pushes it over. And then the fifth and final question is if you had to pick a personal champion, you only got to play one character in the rest of the game. It's not like your party was deleted or anything. It just, like, say that you played with people all the time and you only got to play one character. What character would you choose to solo the game? And my answer would be Chi-Chi for the heals and the cryo buff.
Well, if you knew that.
Management would probably take Jean for the same reason that we both agreed Jean is the strongest. She's going to just heal repeatedly and Animo.
If you take Jean, if you take Kiki, I'm over here taking Miko.
Okay, so the last question she had, this YouTuber, she said, you meet the unknown god. Her story, her question was, you get 4 characters to fight the unknown god. We've already seen the unknown god just, boops people out of existence. And you get 4 characters, whether you own them or not, to fight the unknown god, no questions asked. What 4 characters from the entire game that are playable right now today are you going to pick for your party? And since I have management in the room, I'm only going to choose 2 characters, and I'm going to let her bring 2 characters, and we would co-op the fight. So for my first character, I'm going to bring, obviously, Chi-Chi, because we need heals. So she said for her first character, she's going to bring Miko for damage. And since we can pick from anybody, I think that for resonance for Miko, I would bring the Shogun to resonate with Miko and do that extra electro damage. And then that leaves management 1 character to bring to finish our party. So it's Kiki, Yoimiya, or Yamiko.
I would bring Shinha.
And so she said she would bring Shinha so we would get double resonance to just wipe the floor. So it would be cryo application plus electro for the win. What do you guys think? Play along. You guys can tell us who you think the ultimate champion would be, how we ran through everybody, and then you guys can answer the questions. Independently chat in the comments. Tell us what you think. This is a reminder now that we're 50 minutes into the stream. Today is a giveaway day. I'm giving away a $10 PlayStation gift card. All you got to do is drop a hey, drop a hi in the comments, and you'll be entered in to win the $10 PlayStation gift card. So, the winner will be announced on the morning or early afternoon of the 28th via a live stream. I really just don't feel like playing Genshin right now. I've been playing it all morning, so that's why we're playing mini games. I hope nobody minds too much. Oh, I know. There was one more question I had for you guys. I know I have like all these questions. Sorry, guys. Last question before we go do some actual gameplay. If the 4 Archons were erased completely, and you had to pick 4 new Archons, 1 Dendro, 1 Geo, 1 Electro, and 1 Anemo, which 4 characters now or coming out like next banner would you replace the Archons with? You'd make them, if they're not 5-star already, you would make them 5-star, and you would make them the new Archons. So you could pick a 5-star, you could pick a 4-star. Because the Archons represent a city, kind of, they would have to be from their city. Management says she would. So she thinks Ningguang and Jean would replace the first 2 Archons. Alright.
Honestly, I want to say Miko, but since Raiden wasn't there, Miko wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So then it would be,
I'd say Kujo Sara.
That's what I was going to say.
So I think Kujo Sara definitely would replace Raiden in the event that Raiden was no longer Archon.
And then I don't think Tanari would want to.
No, I think Al Hatham would though, because it was extended.
Because Al Haytham's kind of his own shit, his own thing too.
I know, but I think that he would take on the challenge.
He would be kind of like a Venti, I think.
Because Tainari is like off doing his own stuff.
To go to the thing and stuff, and he keeps declining.
They've tried to get Tainari to like do stuff, and he's like, I'm busy. I have forest stuff to do. I think Al Hatham would end up having to do it, just because there's no other options. No other really Dendro options to become the Dendro Archon. So with our limited options, I think Al Hatham would end up replacing Nahida. I think Kujo Sara would take the place of Raiden out of respect. Ningguang would definitely be there for her city, because she's already there for her city, and it just in a different way. So that leaves Venti. Management says she thinks Jean. I don't think Albedo would be strong enough to do it.
You have to be the same.
Yeah, and he's Geo. So I think Jean is like the only one from Mondstadt that has like the element. Like, there's a lot of people I think would want to do it, but they simply don't have the power to do it. So I think that's what breaks it down. So this next round, I'm going to take away the requirement to live in the same area and just say, like, if I could pick anybody, I still think Al Hatham would replace Nahida, just because, like, I don't think anyone else wants to be the dang Dendro Archon because of where she, like, resides. Because you have to move where, the person resides. If we take away the need to, like, live there, and they would just have to be the same element, I would say Zhao is a strong candidate for replacing Venti, and I think Zhao would be night and day from Venti. Because he can't ever replace Zhongli because of element issues. I think Zhao would cover Venti and Albedo would cover Zhongli. I think they would just trade, because Albedo is very loyal to Mondstadt and very loyal to, like, being the Geo element and all that stuff. I think he would see that he was a very strong Geo, and I think he would offer to replace Zhongli out of respect. And I think if, like, well, because how I'm thinking of it is Ningguang is very busy being Ningguang. She is so busy with so many things to do that if Albedo offered to give up his position as like a researcher and everything else he's doing, I think Ningguang might just be too busy and allow Albedo to step into Zhongli's shoes so that they could have an Archon without having issues. And I think Albedo would do it justice. Just like I think Zhao would, unlike Venti, he would be night and day from Venti. I think he would be very active and very protective, and you wouldn't even have to say his name if you needed him. Like he would just instinctually know that he was required, and I think he would be very into because he learned so much from Zhongli about being an Archon. I think he would be a very strong Archon, and he would be like with the people and for the people. And then, like I said, I think Raiden wouldn't have to ask Kujo Sara. There wouldn't be time for anyone else to try to like get there, because Kujo Sara, the moment that Raiden was out of power, would be like, "Nope, we already have an Archon. I've got this covered. No one needs to come here. Stay away. I've got it." Even though I think somebody like Sino, like I think Sino would send like an offer to Kujo Sara that like if you don't want it, I'll take it, just because he comes across as a
Oh,
very
how about
strong
that
person.
then? I think Sino might be want to be like the Dendro Archon.
He would try to be the Dendro Archon, but he can't. Like element wise, he can't ever be the Dendro Archon. And the availability here of Tiggy and Coley wouldn't really like sauce the coffers here. So that's why I said Al Hatham would be like the closest one to end up taking Nahida's place if Nahida was not the Archon. And we don't know who the other three Archons, so I can't replace them. But I can speculate to if somebody had to step up to it. For Hydro and Cryo, I would say the Kamisato siblings
Oh yeah.
would have deep respect for their respective elements, and I think they would definitely put in a bid. But I think at the end of the day, um, Ayaka is gonna have some resistance from Eula, because I think Eula would be a fine choice for an Archon, just
I don't see
personally.
her actually like wanting it.
But I think out of respect for like the Archon she would offer. But I don't think she would be chosen. I think the Kamisato siblings would end
Yeah,
up,
they would.
they would corner the market, and they would end up taking Hydro and Cryo by storm, which only leaves Pyro. And if there was a hole for Pyro at all, we already know my man Diluc would be like first in line, because he's already doing this like Dark Knight nonsense, like in his Mondstadt. I think he's just looking for attention. On like I get this like I need attention vibe from Diluc, and if the Pyro Archon were to go out, I think Diluc would definitely put in a bid to be the next Archon, and I just don't see him having a lot of like people fighting for the Pyro Archon. At this time, there may be characters in the future, because like Yoimiya runs her firework company, and I don't think she would give up her business dealings to like go be the Archon, because being the Archon kind of like is like first and foremost. Like you're kind of supposed to put the Archonship like ahead of your personal wants and desires. And I don't see any other Pyro on this dang list
Hu
that
Tao is
would.
holding her own.
Hu Tao's running her business. While Diluc has the winery, I think he could choose somebody like, because it's a family business. I think he'd be like, Kaya, it's time for you to do something, and he would just promote Kaya to run the winery. Well, I think that would be a failure for his winery. I think he would be a very strong Archon. Jingling is a chef, and I don't think she'd want to give up her whole business to be the Pyro Archon. Benny is a great support, but I don't see him wanting the power. Amber is like off in La La Land. Like she's just, oh, there's flowers over there. And Yanfei is like already a lawyer, and I don't think she'd want to give up her law profession because that's all she ever talks about. So yeah, it's basically like nobody else really wants it. And like yes, there's a Toma, but I just don't see Toma being hungry for power.
Yeah.
So I think like Diluc, out of all the Pyros, is like the only one who would like try to carry the banner of fire if the Archon were for some reason. The Archon that we don't even know yet would go out. I think he would be the one, and I just don't see anybody taking it from the Kamisato siblings. I just don't. I think that they already have a lot of power in their own city, and they're used to having that much power. So for them, it would be like a natural like bridge. I think. I think that's what happens when you're used to having power. That taking more power. That's why, like, if you look at political, like real life political figures, a lot of times, like parents and their children end up running. Like, I think it was Bush's son.
Yeah.
like he ended up also becoming a politician, but he's already been exposed to it like his whole life. So for him and his brother, it was kind of natural that they became like senators and governors because like their dad had already been there, done that, you know. And it was so I think for the Kamisato siblings, that would be the thing. It's just like they've spent their whole life, you know, running in politics and handling power, and it would be natural for them to just handle it. Yeah, I know the Wanderer exists. I just don't think he would be any match for Gene because he doesn't want power. He wants like total destruction, not like I want to. He doesn't want to save the country. He wants to like smash things all the time, and he's a very angry boy. And I just don't think he would like. And Tartaglia would never want to be like he didn't want to be like he got out of the Harbinger run, and I don't think like the country would respect a former Harbinger enough to even give him the time of day. And Chi Chi's like oblivious. Like I love you, Chi Chi, but you gonna be in your own little stretching world, and you would not be a good Archon, even though you fit the shorty role. Okay. So those are kind of my questions for this morning. 1 hour of just talking, guys. All right, we got stuff to do. No more talking. We gotta get some gameplay in here. Um, no, I want to talk for another 5 hours because I find it really interesting to kind of talk about stuff. We're gonna go try to find Cyrus's Joel's dad real fast. It's not that hard. Is he in Mondstadt? Yeah, he's in Mon. The mission's in Mondstadt. It's just go to the adventurers. Go do 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 do. Yep, this is an easy peasy one. I can do this one. I guess the next questions would be how do you feel about Yo Yo Yao Yao, Ying Ying, whatever the heck her name is, and then Albedo coming out soon. The release of the new Alhaitham. They really do this to me with people's like I get Yamiko and Yoimiya mixed up, and now it's gonna be Albedo and Alhaitham all day.
How did you have Candace and Noelle?
I don't know why I thought Candace and Noelle were the same person. Again, my apologies for the 3,000th time. Okay, we gotta go talk to Cyrus. Okay. Yeah, because Joel's been bothering Cyrus and is like, "Where's my dad?" And Cyrus is like, "I don't know where your dad is, but he probably got lost in a blizzard." Yeah, that's what every child wants to hear. Like your dad's probably like your dad's probably gone. And I'm just like, okay, let's check it out. I'll go check it out, guys. You don't worry about it. We all know everybody in Mondstadt doesn't do anything, so just let me. Well, okay, management's laughing, but
I mean,
Kaya sends me everywhere. Lisa at least came with me.
Yeah.
Cyrus, I think he said he's coming, but like,
Go get her book. She went personally.
yeah, she was like, "Give me my book back." But like, I'm just saying, there's this laziness in Mondstadt where people don't want to like cooperate. Let's just teleport. I'm not walking all the way to Dragonspine. So yeah, just drop in the chat, drop in the comments how you feel about the couple of new characters they've already confirmed. I think Alhaitham is great. I look forward to another Dendro. I love Tiggy. I have a Tiggy now. I'm not getting rid of him. I just think he could use some resonance that's not Collie. And I just feel like we don't have enough Dendro characters, so any new Dendro character, I'm gonna be hyped.
Baby Dendro Yao Yao, that's polearm.
Nobody asked for Yao Yao. If you did, I'm sorry, but like nobody asked you to ask for that. All right, GG, run this way. Come on. We gotta get through this area as quickly as possible. Okay, come on. I dislike the snow. It's no mystery. And I personally think cryos should be like not susceptible to nonsense going on. But like there should be some benefit to cryos. And if you guys make the cryo area trash like this, I'm not doing it. Okay. Okay, there we go. There's some heat so we don't freeze to death out here. I don't know why, but every time that Heizo yells Cyclone, I just hear Jujutsu in my head. That's just an anime thing that's gonna be stuck in here. Can you burn this dude, please? No, don't hit me. I don't want that. You ran away from the fire
Open
because you're a
up
baby.
400 chests in leeway.
Wow, management's getting the big boy achievements. 400 chests of leeway.
Why
Oh
not?
yeah, we leveled. Chi Chi has a new sword, guys. I forgot to tell you. She no longer has the cool steel. We got the black sword off of Battle Pass and gave it to her. We're trying to level it.
That was your Christmas present.
It was one of my Christmas. I already told them about my other one,
What's the other one?
the quarry,
Oh yeah.
and that I will be playing it tonight with management for a little bit. But that's not until tonight. Gotta go talk to Cyrus. Where the heck is Cyrus now? Go stand by the heater while I find Cyrus.
He's literally back where he was.
Okay, I told you he wouldn't move. Wait, is he?
Yeah, he's right there, that blue dot.
He moved a little bit. Okay, teleport back to Mondstadt and tell Cyrus our findings. Fair enough.
Cyrus, just stop running around.
Cyrus, like this is a little bit lazy. Yeah, he's kind of like the leader. I thought he was the leader of the Adventurers Guild, and he's just like
Like, you can go do it.
he said. Technically, during his conversation, he said he has other things to do. Like he's busy, and this boy has been bothering him every day. Chi-Chi, why should you have stayed indoors today? Why do you say weird things, Chi-Chi? Why every time I try to take you somewhere, are you like, no, I should have stayed home? Are you disrespecting me, the fact that I pulled you out and I'm using you? Like, is that really how we're doing today, Chi-Chi? She's like, I should have stayed home. And I'm like, Chi-Chi, nobody loves you. And the fact that I use you all the time, like, you should be happy that, like, I took you out to do a mission. Okay. Okay, talk to Cyrus. Okay. Report back to Joel. Okay, I didn't even talk to Joel, but apparently I gotta go talk to Joel. Isn't he at his little camp? At least he's got a teleporter. Again, I'm pleading to the devs to please put teleporters closer to some of these boss fights. Because, guys, some of these boss fights, like the Geo Cube, I'm running, like, all the way there and getting pummeled the whole way. Give me just a second, crafters. I'll be right back.
One, two, breathe, 3, 4, and one, two, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, breathe, 3, 4, and let's go somewhere cooler. Neither do I. I already forgot. Let's go somewhere cooler. 1, 2, breathe. 3, 4, and
My apologies, crafters. Apparently, my lunch disagreed with me. So my apologies for running off like that. Management says we got some mail. Very nice. 3 red books. 3 red books. Let's go finish this conversation with Joel. Or at least this part of the conversation with Joel. There is one more part, but I don't know if it comes in right away. So, okay, Joel. Hey, Joel, I'm trying to talk to you. Um, I feel bad for him because Cyrus is his uncle, and like the way it plays out to me is like Cyrus is not looking for his dad, and like I don't know. It just comes across to be like Cyrus isn't like a bad dude. I just think Cyrus like doesn't care that his brother's missing. Just my opinion. And so Joel's just like, I'll ask Cyrus when he gets here, and like thanks you and gives you some books for like. He gave me $30,000. Where did Joel get $30,000 from? Is the question. Yeah, he like, Uncle, you're paying for this because I have to take care of this. Um, Trying to find another one that would be kind of easy to do. I've already done my commissions with management, so I took care of a lot of like the easy stuff that you guys are like boring before you guys got here. I hope you guys don't mind. It's just like I feel like the last couple of times that sat there and done the commissions, you guys just have been a little bit bored. Just let's just okay. We can't unlock part 2 Zhongli. So can I have anything? I have a key I can't use. Fantastic. So stop yelling at me because you're the one refusing to like. You're the one refusing to like.
Wait, do you have any more to the right?
No, those are locked. Like
Wait, keep going.
the ones I want are all locked. Yeah. I have to do some of these quests to clear them out, and someday we will, crafters. But today is not that day.
That would take a long time.
Honestly, I would probably devote an entire stream to doing it. The only one I can think of to do is light the bonfire in Leeway. I don't think that's a ridiculous mission. Yeah, it's like you find a note and then you have to go like light the bonfire. It doesn't sound completely redonkulous. So we're gonna go ahead and just teleport over here and take care of this mission. This is our like second and final. I was just gonna do like 2 missions, and then we're gonna run around the desert and look for stuff. Because I haven't done a lot in the desert, so every time I go to the desert, I find a whole bunch of stuff. Just because that's one of the newer areas I personally opened. Actually, you know what? We'll go do Hyzob's beetles. Because I haven't done that in like a week. So there should be beetles for Hyzo if he goes and looks for beetles. And then to finish, we do have a Valentine's mini game to finish. So if that sounds like fun, Yeah, it's like a you play Cupid for the characters. I think it'll be really fun, but I just didn't want to do it back to back with the other ones. Okay, so it was literally come here and light this bonfire. Okay. Hey, Gooba, could you possibly blow some fire somewhere near this, possibly? Thank you. Thank you. I think we lit it. Oh, of course. Opponents are trying to mess up my day because y'all's just they're like, "Oh, you lit the bonfire, therefore we smack you in the face." And I'm like, "All right, cool beans. Y'all do that. Just know I'm gonna clap back. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna stand here and take it from you guys." All right, clearing them down. Ult into physical damage, into a Hyzo punch, and we're done there. What steps next? Read the text. Yep, I read this text before. Okay. Sweet. If I remember right, I just have to, like, go get the treasure. This is actually a really easy one. So, if you guys don't know, this is the peak of the slope. If you guys are kind of confused. So I'm going to drop a little waypoint over there, and then we're just going to go that way. So I just got to figure out which way I need to be facing. Yep, just head this direction. So from the treasure, deploy wings and head generally this direction for a while. Yeah, we do have one more mini game coming in after this mission. It's just going to be another longer mini game, so that's what I'm doing. A couple of missions first. I did promise missions, exploration. So we will be doing missions, then some exploration, and then and the exploration will just be to get Hyzos and beetles. And then after we're done with that, we'll conclude with another mini game. I hope you guys are enjoying these mini games. I think that they're really fun, and it's a different way to look at your the characters in Genshin, and it gives you a lot more. I don't know, a lot more stuff to do than just quote unquote play the game. And I think that if you're like a legacy player who has already played a good portion of the game, it would be fun for those guys too because they've already beat every boss 1,000 times. You run every story mission. They're kind of out. They're literally logging in, doing their daily commissions, and going to see who they can help. So I think it would be a fun thing for them to do as well, just to kind of, I don't know, just have some more utility out of the game while we all wait together for for the next chapters. Now, granted, without Hatham, we will be getting some more gameplay, and I believe unlocking some portion of a new area with his update. So, but I'm not 100%, so like don't straight quote that. It may be a little bit trigger. So all you're doing is literally going to this peak. You'll see a tree up there. Your goal is to get to that tree. However you want to get to that tree, that's your business. Personally, I need some of these flowers, so we're going to be climbing this way to pick up some violet grass on my way up. There's also a geo sigil up here if you guys haven't been up here.
Where?
At the top of this mountain. I think you've done this one, management. This is the one where you read the note, the treasure hoarders tell you to light the bonfire, you light the bonfire, then they attack you for lighting the bonfire. You read the note and they're like, "Oh, if you were dumb enough, there's no treasure for lighting the bonfire," but then it tells you where they buried their stash. And then you go here, you'll see this tree, you'll see a couple flowers and a shovel, and all you got to do dig, and then you get a precious chest and like 30 primo gems for opening it. Yep. And this tree that you can't stab or do anything with because it's part of the story. You can hop up here, and at the very top, if you haven't gotten it already, there is one Geoculus. So if you're missing one, that could be the one you're missing if you haven't done that silly little mission. I picked that one because it's just really, that one's an easy mission to do. All right, let's go get Heizo his beetles, and then we'll wrap up by playing another minigame. I think management's gonna like this minigame because it's just playing Cupid for the characters. So we're gonna go to the big island here, where I've got quite a few things penned for Heizo, and we're just gonna run around and see if we can't pick up some beetles. And while we do that, we're gonna discuss some reminders I have for you guys. Today is a giveaway, so all you have to do is come by and drop a hey in the chat, and your username will automatically be entered during any of the streams today. You can't spam; it's one entry per person, so spamming hey across multiple segments is not going to get you more entries than someone else. It's just going to get you a single entry. But all you have to do is say hey, no purchase necessary. Just your username will be notated, and you'll be entered automatically to win some $10 PlayStation gift card. Yep, my brain like blanked out, but that is the prize for today. Again, it will be drawn the morning of the 28th, so big excitement there. It's just a Christmas gift for you guys. We've done so much, come so far since June. Management and I wanted to thank you guys for being the driving force behind that. So otherwise, it's just me talking to me, myself, and I. And well, I do that anyway. I was never expecting to make it as far as I have with the channel. So our sponsor management wanted to get back to you guys because you have been awesome and you have been wonderful to stream for. And yeah, I just feel like the rewards should come to those who wait and those who participate. Because I have always been like one of those people that has not had fun. Essentially, when I do the thing that I'm asked to do, and then for whatever reason I don't get anything. And it's not like I don't get anything. Like you shouldn't do things just because you're gonna get something. But I feel like if you do things a lot, and there have been a lot of you guys that have watched more than one stream, I feel like that should be rewarded. Again, there's just like a lot of streamers available at all times. So if you give me even a second of your day, like I want to reward, reward that kind of thinking. Sorry guys, my brain is short circuiting apparently. Yeah, my lunch has taken over my brain as well. And I'm running a little bit low on gas. I did sleep really well. It's not a sleep thing. For once in my life, it's not a sleep issue. It's more just my brain's too many places at once. And if you're a very busy body with a very busy brain, I think you can understand that sometimes your brain just doesn't go along with what you're trying to get done. So my apologies if I suddenly seem spacey. It's just I've got a lot of stoof on the brain. I have a few more streams I want to do today, and while I am certainly enjoying this content that's happening currently, I also am ready to wrap this up whenever so that we can move on. Because like I said, I got a new game, and I would like to play it tonight. I don't know if I'll get the chance, because like I said, we've got other things on the schedule. If not tonight, then certainly at the latest tomorrow we can start. Right, right. That is where what I just realized is I haven't downloaded it yet, so it's not like it's like sitting on Xbox ready to go. When I switch over to Xbox to play other things, I'm gonna have to put in the disc and start the download. So, and with the fact that I'm gonna be streaming, it's gonna be quite the process. So, guys, I may not be able to deliver tonight, but I should be. Yeah, I should be able to. It's just if there are updates that come in, it might get a little messy. We don't know. I will try tonight. At the latest, it will be tomorrow night. So, my apologies if we don't actually get to play it tonight. But I think that really, you just knocked my Chi-Chi all the way to the floor and absolutely murdered her. That was super disrespectful, my guy. Like, he didn't even give her a chance. She ended up in that, like, crunch state where you can't do anything. And now I'm out of healer while running around the most dangerous island possible. Fantastic. I got like 4 beetles, but yeah, definitely not what I had planned. We're just gonna run around. I know there's one or two more down here this way somewhere. If I just keep going this way, so we're gonna try to grab at least one more. And then someday in the future, management will be taking us on the big tour of this island to get a bunch at once. Because Heizo needs like 20 more, so. And then he'll be ready to do his current final ascension pattern. Because my goal, crafters, is to get everybody to 70 before we call it good. I think for me, the stopping point for all characters is going to be 70, and then some characters will go to 80. I don't think I'm going to make the push for 90 for most people. I can only think of 3 or 4 characters I would want to put to 90, and they would be Noelle, Chi-Chi, and Jean, and I don't have Jean yet. So I got her on my free-to-play, which really surprised my friend because the same day we pulled at the same time, he lost his 50-50 to Jean, so he didn't get a copy of the Wanderer. And he was all like, dude, I lost my 50-50 to Jean, but he was actually really excited because he didn't want the Wanderer. He thought the Wanderer was kind of... He said he watched a bunch of demos and he just wasn't feeling it. And then I went to do my pool with my pity very high on my free-to-play, and I lost my 50-50 to Jean as well. And I was like, is this banner broken?
Everyone says it is.
And a bunch of people are saying, like, I asked on the internet, a bunch of people, like doubled down.
Since like the mess up.
Am I saving these flowers for you?
Oh.
You need these, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just asking. I usually boop them, but if you need them, I will leave them alone.
Well, you don't have anyone that actually needs them.
Yeah. Well, I've just been... I've been stacking them.
Unless you want Miko on their rerun, whenever that is.
I will eventually, but it's not something that I'm gonna do anytime soon. Because she just had a banner, and I don't see her banner rerunning for like a while. So I'll just leave that alone because she needs to get her Miko up. Here's the pretty festival; it's still here. Because the event is technically not done. You still have time to participate in the Heizo Ito event if you guys are wanting to do that at all. Definitely a good story if nothing else. Okay. I think that's all the beetles. I know where they are. Management will have to come by and do the big boy one at some point.
Oh, you have to do that mission to clear that thing.
No, like I have the cavern. I don't know where it is. So yeah, like I might just go to Management's World and cheat and take hers.
Yeah.
Because I got last time I went to Management's World, I think I got 15 of them, and I only need like 20.
You got like 16.
Yeah, I got a ton from Management's World because she's got a lot more of the island available. Mr. Heizo needs 11. So if I do the run with management, Heizo will be done for right now. Do you have a chest or are you just sitting over there? Big boy's just sitting over there. I'm not going over there to fight you just to fight you.
I'm like, this account right now needs Jean. Like,
yeah, I would love a copy of Jean on my main account. That's why I was like so spicy when my free to play just like got a Jean because I was like, what's the Jean gonna do over here? Not that I think Jean is useless. I just like wrong account, bro. Like, what am I gonna do with this Jean? Just because I don't know what to do with her. I mean, obviously she's a great healer, great animo. Don't get me wrong, I understand. Just my count wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the Jean. You know what I mean? Like, just I wasn't set up for that. And my main account has been sitting over here like, Jean, you can come home now, Jean. Alright, there's a chest over here. I'm gonna bust this chest open. We'll close with our mini game after this chest, and then I do have other content planned, but not